Hello students, I am B. Bharat Kumar, working as Assistant Professor in Mechanical Department from Guntur Engineering College, Yanamadala, Guntur. Now I am continuing this lecture from second lecture. This is my third lecture from first unit, Perfect Gas Laws. So here I am discussing about Dalton's law. Here I am discussing about Dalton's law. The total pressure in the container is the sum of the pressure each gas would exert if it were alone in the container. The total pressure in the container is the sum of the pressure each gas would exert if it were alone in the container. The total pressure is the sum of the partial pressure. The total pressure is the sum of the partial pressures. Here what is the equation? P total is equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3 plus P4 plus P5 and so on. For each gas, P is equal to nRT by V. For each gas, P is equal to nRT by V. So basically, what is the meaning of this Dalton's law? Here you can consider this Dalton's law equation by producing different types of gases at a time in different types of containers. So here you can observe, in first container we have taken hydrogen gas, second container we have taken helium gas, and third container we have taken P total, hydrogen plus helium. So here whenever you apply hydrogen gas under 2.9 atmospheric pressure having 0.60 moles, you can observe that molecules are having in space. Whereas in helium, in the second container under 7.2 atmosphere, here volume 1.50 moles under 5.0 liter at 20 degrees centigrade. Now you can observe in third container P total is equal to 10.1 atmosphere. Here you can observe why this 10.1 atmosphere attained means by adding this hydrogen gas and helium gas we can attain this 10.1 atmospheres. You can observe that individually in these first two containers, and in third container we can observe here adding both gases in one container under same volume and temperature. So that's why in this Dalton's law he told that P total is equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3 plus P4 plus P5 and so on. Next one, vapor pressure. Vapor pressure. When that water evaporates, the vapor has a pressure. When the water evaporates, the vapor has a pressure. Gases are often collected over water, so that vapor pressure of water must be subtracted from the total pressure. Here what is the meaning of this first point? When the water evaporates, the vapor has the pressure. So here with the best example, water has a basic highest boiling point under 100 degrees centigrade temperature. So whenever the boiling point of the water reaches 100 degrees centigrade temperature, it automatically evaporates. Whenever the water getting evaporated, it has immense pressure in that vapor. For example, you can consider pressure cooker. Whenever the lid closes of the pressure cooker, the water inside the cooker gets heated, and whenever it reaches up to its boiling temperature, the water automatically converts to this vapor. Whenever the water gets converted into the vapor, automatically vapor has immense amount of pressure. By that pressure, the lid gets open and whistling started. Likewise, here vapor pressure, when the water evaporates, the vapor has a pressure. Gases are often collected over water, so that vapor pressure of water must be subtracted from the total pressure. Differences between ideal and real gases. Differences between ideal and real gases. Before going to discuss about this differences between ideal and real gases, I want to make you clear that what is the meaning of real gases. Real gases, real molecules do take up space and do interact with each other, especially polar molecules. Need to add correction factors to the ideal gas laws to account for this. So here ideal gas, we have gas molecules. In this ideal gases, the molecules doesn't interact with each other. It means the molecules does not bombarded with each other. But in real gases, the gas molecules bombarded with each other, so that in real gases, whenever the molecules get interacted with each other, volume gets increases. So we have to add some correction factors to the ideal gas to make them into the real gases. Like by adding external agents like volume, pressure and temperature, we can also convert that ideal gases into real gases. By adding those external agents in the ideal gases, the gas molecules get interact with each other and those molecules convert into the real gases. So now we are discussing about differences between ideal and real gases. Here we have 4 conditions. First condition, obey PV is equal to nRT. Ideal gas definitely obeys PV is equal to nRT. It means always. Whereas real gases only at very low pressure and high temperature. Second condition, molecular volume for ideal gas is always 0. Molecular volume for real gas is small but non-zero. Third condition, molecular attractions for ideal gas is always 0 and for real gases small. Last condition, molecular repulsions for ideal gas is 0 and for real gases small. So here is the basic example for this ideal gases. So under 3 different pressures, at 1 atmospheric pressure, 10 atmospheric pressure, 30 atmospheric pressure, you can send that gas into the square box. Under 1 atmospheric pressure, you can observe that gas molecules doesn't interact with each other. Those molecules moving in a free space. Under 10 atmospheric pressure, the molecules are becoming closer to each other. Under 30 atmospheric pressure, the molecules bombarded with each other and forming into a single molecules. So this is the basic scenario of this real gases. How the gas molecules function in a real gas and how the gas molecule function in a ideal gas. So this is the basic example for this real gas, how the gas molecules of real gases behaves whenever it comes under different pressure conditions. So that's it for now. Thank you. Signing off.